Now it's a podcast. What a weak can opening.
Yeah. True.
Bobbity boopy.
Time to get spoopy.
Roll spooky intro. Hello, my name is Zach.
Oh, my name's Nick.
Is it?
You don't know me.
You think you know
me?
I hate you. And welcome back to Careless Opinion Podcast, there, buds.
Oh, yeah, they're buds.
And as per usual, let's just sip.
The blood of my enemies. What are you sipping on?
What?
What?
The blood.
Oh, I said Modelo Chelada. What did you say? We said the same thing.
No, I just did it. I'm sipping a White Claw, bro.
Oh.
Because, ain't no law when you're drinking Claw. Anyway, welcome back to Spooky October!
Yes!
And as we promised, we're gonna do some true crimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude.
And this is True Crimes John Wayne Gacy. So, what do you know about John Wayne Gacy?
Absolutely nothing than that horrifying photo that we have pulled up right now.
Yeah, I chose that photo for a reason. You'll learn that reason. So,
Okay.
you want me to just dive on in?
Yeah, I like his chins.
His chins. He has multiple chins. He really does. He's fat. He's a little fat.
He's a little trouble.
He's also super evil. I don't know how to transition from that joke. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know how to
Go
transition
ahead.
from that joke. Alright, so John Wayne Gacy was born March 17th, 1942 in Chicago.
Chicago.
So, his childhood's kind of, guess the way I put it is there's not a lot known. The big things that are known is, so, his father was very abusive. He was a World War I veteran and an alcoholic. His father did a lot of, he kind of belittled him a lot, made fun of him, told him he was a sissy. Very similar to Ed Kemper, actually, where Ed Kemper's mom had said, I don't want my son to grow up to be a insert word I'm not going to say because I'm not a horrible person. He said a lot saying, well, my son's going to grow up just to be a queer. It doesn't matter. A lot of that. John Wayne Gacy had two sisters and a mother. John's father did the same things to the sisters and the mother. John Wayne Gacy's mother tried to kind of, I guess for a lack of a better term, shelter him from it. Where she would belittle him as well and told John, I'm doing this so your father won't. And John understood that, but ultimately it didn't help.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it ended in the same result. So, keep in mind, I want you to remember this. He was born in 42, okay?
Oh, wow, that's a long time ago.
So, at the age of 6 years old, 1949, John Wayne Gacy and another young boy were actually caught fondling a young girl. So, this started early for John Wayne Gacy, where he was doing things that he didn't understand and bad things. This actually led to his father beating him, and where John Wayne Gacy is one of the first beatings I really got, with a razor strop. Do you know what a razor strop is?
No.
So, a razor strop, this for everyone. Those old barber movies or something where they have this long piece of leather and the barber's sharpening their knife on it to shave somebody.
Yeah.
That is a razor strop. John Wayne Gacy was beaten with one of those.
Oh.
And in the same year that he was caught fondling a young girl, John Wayne Gacy was reportedly, to his account, repeatedly molested by one of his father's friends.
Oh.
He went on to say that he didn't tell his father out of fear that his father wouldn't believe him, and that his father would also blame him for being molested.
Wow.
To give you an idea of how manipulative and screwed up of a human being his father was. So, here's why we have this picture pulled up. John Wayne Gacy was called the Killer Clown.
Okay.
This picture that you're seeing, everybody, this is John Wayne Gacy next to his alter ego, Pogo. John Wayne Gacy has two alter egos. He has Pogo the Clown and Patches the Clown. So Pogo is his most famous one. Patches is a little lesser known. So what John Wayne Gacy did was he actually did children's parties as Pogo the Clown. Balloon animals, he did tricks, escape artist stuff. And what's so creepy is when we go to Alcatraz East later on this month, we will be, me and you, and I've been there, so it's there, will be about maybe a half an inch thick glass away from his Pogo the Clown outfit and his Patches the Clown outfit.
Oh, wow.
His real outfits. We will also be about a half inch away from the leather jacket that he famously got arrested in and took one of his mug shots in, as well as his art kit.
Art kit.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to all that. So, fun fact about these alter egos: he never killed anybody as a clown. Never. They tested him and everything. They never found anything any form of fibers or fluid or blood or anything belonging to anybody else. He never killed anybody in the clown suits, which a little weird. To be called, I mean, he's called the killer clown for the obvious reason if he dresses as a clown sometimes, but like little different. Most of the time you hear about those things and it's very horror movie-esque where you're like, oh, this guy definitely killed people dressed as a clown, but it's not the case at all, actually.
That's weird.
His Pogo the Clown actually inspired Twisty from American Horror Story and inspired Stephen King's novel It. Inspired a lot of that like creepy clown culture you see.
Now that you say it, I can definitely see Twisty from American Horror Story.
Very, very similar. The big mouth.
You
can't see the top of the hat in the picture, but he has a very pointed hat like Twisty had. He has like the big frills around his neck, kind of like Pennywise. Which, if you read the book, It compared to the movie, Pennywise from It is very similar to John Wayne Gacy's Pogo the Clown, except he wasn't like a larger clown. He was very like skinny and very weird, but John Wayne Gacy's Pogo is kind of Victorian-esque with the big frills and all that. Very similar to Pennywise. It's a little tidbit fun fact for you. So, in his local town, aside from being a clown, he was also the president, or the captain, I'm sorry, whatever you want to call it, of his local community's Democratic precinct. Okay. Heavily involved in politics. So all starts to get a little fucky, if you will. In 1968, he is arrested for one count of sodomy. This is before the murders. So he's arrested on this one count of sodomy. He's sentenced to 10 years in jail. Would you like to know how long he served?
Like
18 months.
Oh.
18 months. He was the quote-unquote model prisoner. He convinced his parole board that he was healthy and that it would never happen again. He convinced the prison staff. He was a cook at the prison. There's actually an interview of John Wayne Gacy well before he was known as the serial killer John Wayne Gacy in the prison as a cook, talking about how important it is to feed these men, how these men are misunderstood, and how, you know, he knows what he did, but he's in here with guys who stole $10 worth of something and are in here for 5 years. It's crazy.
Wow.
His first victim was in 1972. So, he went to jail in 1968. He got out, probably if it's 18 months, I can't remember the time he got out, roughly somewhere in 70, like 69, 70 is when he got out. Killed his first victim 2 years later, and his first victim's name was Timothy McCoy. Timothy McCoy was a 16-year-old boy traveling from Ohio to Omaha to go see his grandparents. John Wayne Gacy picked him up while they were in Chicago. He had a layover on a Greyhound bus, picked him up and told him, hey, you know, I'll give you a tour if you got time. Timothy McCoy, this is the 70s, and unfortunately a lot of people kind of just said, sure. He said, yeah, sure. He got the car with John Wayne Gacy. John Wayne Gacy toured him around and then took him home and killed him. So before that, before the victim was known, he was actually, when they, no one knew his name at the Greyhound station, and he just went missing. Essentially, it was a missing persons case, and literally, it was called the Greyhound Bus Boy Missing Person.
Oh,
so a little interesting tidbit. So first victim's in 1972. 3 years later, by 1975, he's killed 3 people.
Oh.
By the end of 1976, how many people do you think he killed? It's a year from 75, and he's killed 3. Include those 3 in your guess as well.
6?
Logically, you'd think, nope, 33 total. 33 people.
What?
He started in 72. By 76 in 4 years, 33 people. That's roughly ballpark 9 people a month, a year.
Wow.
So one person, like 1 to 2 people, like every few months, to give you an idea. He later attributed to the insane killing spree he went on to a divorce that was happening to him.
What?
He was getting divorced from his first wife, and he attributed it to that due to stress. So
What?
due to stress, I killed 30-something people. Yeah, let that sink in. Piece of shit. He is a piece of shit.
He blames it on a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
So, what I always find fascinating when we do true crime is we kind of tend to talk about very similar cases in a way where you have, like, when we talk about, like, BTK, Bundy, and, like, Edmund Kemper. When you look at all those, they're all somewhat similar.
Yeah.
To an extent, they are similar. Gacy's very different. I chose to hold off for October with Gacy because Gacy's creepy. This gets real creepy.
Oh. It gets worse?
Yeah. It's true crimes. Of course it gets worse.
Oh.
It's me telling you horrible facts about the world. Of course it gets worse, bro. It's true crimes.
Okay.
So let's get worse. We're going to talk about what got him arrested and how all that happened, and then we're going to talk about what he did to his victims.
Okay.
So, he was arrested in 1978, in December of 1978. There was a missing persons case. A teenager from Des Plaines, Illinois, went missing, and he ended up getting caught and investigated, and he was arrested that same year. He ended up getting a total of 33 counts of murder, 1 count of sodomy, 1 count of endangerment to a child, and 1 count of rape of a child.
Oh.
12 consecutive death sentences. Confirmed you're gonna die.
12 consecutive death sentences. Wow.
And 33 counts of murder, and out of those 33, they made sure 12 of them were death sentences. So it's like, once you get... What's crazy is if you get 1 death sentence, you can live. You can escape that. You get 2, not looking good. You get 3, you're dead. You get 12, you're confirmed. Like, KIA, kill confirmed. There's no better luck next time from Call of Duty. You're dying.
Wow.
12, my dude. He was executed in May of 1994. I want you to hear that date again. 1994, and he was arrested in 78. So he spent 16 years on death row, dude.
How? Like, how does it take him that long to process that?
I don't know how the justice system works on that, but there are people who sit in death row for the rest of their lives. There are people who go, you know, you're supposed to be executed on this date, and then it doesn't happen once, and then they end up just living the rest of their lives on death row. It happens a lot more than you think.
Wow. I
Which
didn't
is
know
spooky.
that. That's...
Yeah.
Wow. From 78 to 94.
Also, 1994, me and you were alive when John Wayne Gacy was executed. Think about that.
That's crazy. I can't believe the time frame that happened. That's insane.
I mean, if he was born in 42 and died in 94. He's 52 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, that's a weird thing to think about.
Yeah, that's
half
really
of his
weird.
life was spent in jail. Think about that too. He's arrested in 78. And he was born in 42. You know, close to half of his life was spent on death row. Plus, you add in the extra 18 months he spent for the sodomy.
Yeah.
Over half of his life. Imagine and the thing about it too is, if he would have been caught and served the 10 years for that sodomy charge, so the 18 months, he probably never would have killed. There's a good chance that he might not have killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, let that sink in.
Wow.
Yeah, so the reason he was caught and the reason he was investigated due to the Des Plaines child murder, or the teenage murder, in the same year, 1978, one of Gacy's victims had escaped.
Oh.
And went to police. This prompted the police to investigate John Wayne Gacy. This was on the 16th of December. He was arrested the 28th. Well, think about that. So, when police went to question Gacy about the teenager who claimed he had escaped from John Wayne Gacy said, no. He is a consensual sex slave. And he was mad that I did not pay him the full amount because I told him I owed him more and I couldn't pay him. And the police said, okay, and let him live.
What?
They let him go. But they watched him. John Wayne Gacy would reportedly go to bars. And the police were watching him. And the police would be at the bars. And he'd call them out and be like, yep, that's just my security. Jokingly. He would bring them like lemonade when they were a few blocks down. He'd see them park, make them lemonade, and take it to them. Be like, here you go. He knew the police were watching him.
Wow. That dude's a creep.
So, this is what we're about to discuss. This is where things get real dark. This is the parts of John Wayne Gacy that... and we've said it kind of with most of these podcasts when we do true crime. Like, this is... Be warned. Be warned, because here it comes. Also, be warned of that jump scare that just happened. you gotta, you ease them into it.
It's spooky season.
Yeah, it's spooky season. Be warned of that jump scare that just happened, guys. Maybe there's another one. Time will tell. Anyway, this is that one guy who's like, oh shit.
Oh no.
He's gonna be ready for it. Plot twist. But then again, we did say that about the intro. There wanted to be one, and there was definitely one for the October.
100% months.
This is true. So, when John Wayne Gacy was arrested, and they started looking at his house, he had a ranch-style house. Probably I would roughly estimate the size of mine. Most ranch-style houses are about the same size.
Okay.
So, he had a little crawl space underneath his house. 26 bodies were found in that crawl space. 26. Most crawl spaces behind, like, I don't have a crawl space under my house actually because I'm on a slab. Most crawl spaces underneath houses though are not large. They're not large. Probably about the size of like the office we're in now, and my master room. 26 bodies stacked through that.
Wow.
They're all buried, too. John Wayne Gacy's neighbors reportedly said that he would consistently be in the crawl space. The way he lured these victims was he offered them all, these were all, he only killed men. Young men. About 15 to 16 years old. He offered them all exactly what I think most young men in the 70s would want. Drugs, booze, and work. He had a little private construction company, so it was easy to be like, come work for me, come over, we'll discuss it, and we'll have a beer. Every 16-year-old in the 70s is going to say yes. Unfortunately. So, he, like I said, 26 bodies. When they found these bodies, they weren't, like, buried deep. You hear the term shallow grave a lot. These were shallow graves. Talking a foot under the ground.
Wow.
Laid, and then another foot deep. There's another body, and then 3-4 inches to the left, there's another body, and it's not even stacked on top of another one. Like, there's no extra foot. It's just two bodies stacked on top of each other with like maybe a half inch of dirt in between them.
Wow.
So, upon the horror of finding that, they started to uncover what John Wayne Gacy was doing to his victims. The way he would do this was very, very... This is where it gets very... I mean, this is all very horror movie-esque, obviously, but this gets like, whoa, horror movie-esque. So, when he would invite them over, and he would get a few drinks in them, or drugs, and he would tell them, hey, I'm a party clown, do you want to see some tricks? Like, yeah, sure. He would put himself in handcuffs behind his back, with a key hidden between his fingers, and he'd tell his victims to lure them into safety of like, hey, there's another pair of handcuffs. I'm already handcuffed. There's a pair of handcuffs over there. Why don't you put put them behind your back. He pretty much made his victims tie themselves up. They would handcuff themselves.
Oh, wow.
The second they were handcuffed, he would uncuff himself and be like, you just get out like that. And they'd go, well, how'd you do it? And he obviously didn't have an answer. He would then handcuff their legs to a 2x4. So a 2x4, you know what a 2x4 is. It's 2 inches by 4 feet. He would take a 2x4, and at the end of each end, there were handcuffs that were lodged into it. And he would handcuff their legs, then he'd uncuff their hands, and he'd do the same thing in front of them, essentially making them forcibly on all fours with your arms spread out and your legs spread out position. He had makeshift reins that he would tie around their necks into their mouths, and then he would sit on their backs and smoke cigars and burn them with cigars and force them to essentially drag themselves and him through his range. That's how he tortured them.
Wow.
On top of that, he would sexually assault them with foreign objects. Foreign object. Lamps. Bottles. Yeah. Foreign objects.
Oh.
There was reports where he said, with the, mouth thing that he made for horses, and this could get very graphic for a second. I apologize. Again, if this is not something you're into, just mute for the next 10 seconds starting now. One of the ones he made had a hole in the middle of it, and he would put it in their mouths and essentially force fellatio on them.
Oh, God.
Yeah, he would force oral sex. Okay, if you've unmuted and you didn't hear that, good. If you heard that and it was rough, I'm sorry. Welcome to True Crimes, man. This is October, and we're going to do this weird and creepy as possible. This is just what it is. So, what he would do then is tell them, do you want to see one more magic trick? After all of this, he's tortured and raped his victims. And he goes, do you want to see another magic trick? And he called it the rope trick, or what he would do. He had a hammer turn, which is where you have a hammer that's attached to something and it turns it for you. Attached to a long piece of rope that would tighten over time. He would put it around their necks while they were still tied down pretty much. He would just tighten it every now and again. He went on record as saying most of my victims would live 2 to 3 hours, sometimes 4, and they would spend an hour and a half to 2 hours on that second part just convulsing because of the lack of air I was giving them. So he not only tortured and raped his victims and forced himself on them and raped them with foreign objects, he then forced them to convulse for an hour and a half to 2 hours before death, fully conscious.
Oh my God.
So,
wow.
After they were dead, he would put them under his bed for 24 hours. After 24 hours under the bed, he would then go to his storage or his crawl space, bury them, what have you. They found 26 victims out of the 33. They found other victims, washed up on the shore bank. They found some miles away that he admitted to. They asked, he went on record as saying at a point, they asked him, why didn't you store them in other places? His exact words were, and I quote to you, I was going to store some in my attic, but when I was done with them, I was afraid of leakage.
Oh my God.
Yeah. John Wayne Gacy, the killer clown, is by far, it's vile.
Yeah,
It's some sick shit.
Yeah.
But, to make you feel any better, he apparently died slowly of lethal injection and had no last words but crying.
Oh, thank God he died.
Yeah. Super duper dead. In jail, he, like I said, we're going to talk about this. He took up painting. That's why I said he has a painting kit. He took up painting in jail, and he actually would sell these paintings, and people bought them. You can buy prints of them. The picture of him on our screen and on your screen, guys, is him as Pogo the Clown. That's an actual picture of him, but he used to paint that and sell it all the time. He had paintings of himself in circles with kids. It's very macabre, obviously, but it's also very strange because you look at this guy. This is the One of the most brutal serial killers. Fun fact, 33 is one of the highest body counts ever found in one fucking place in American history. It is the highest body count found in one place of the 26 victims found in the one place. Highest mass grave from a single person ever in history.
Wow.
Yeah, let that sink in too. So, it's very interesting to see, that he did these paintings. It's weird. And like I've talked about those serial killers, you have people who are products of their environment, like I said, when it came down to, some of the other guys we talked about. Bundy wasn't a product of environment. Bundy was pure evil.
Yeah, Bundy's pure evil.
Ed Kemper was a sad product of a really fucked up environment. John Wayne Gacy, the verdict's kind of not there. You want to call it a product of environment, but at the same time,
how many kids in the 40s would have had parents like that? Like,
how many kids in the 40s and early 50s had parents that, smacked them or told them to stop being this or something?
Probably a lot.
A lot. And the whole molestation thing with one of his dad's friends, obviously that probably was a massive influence on the things he did, but at the same time, and I've said it with every other thing, there's so many people in the world who become victims of that who don't end up doing this shit.
Yeah.
It's always weird with serial killers when we talk about it, and I always mention it because, like I've said in every one of them, there's no sympathy for these people whatsoever.
Yeah.
And there never will be. They did wrong. They did horrible things. They deserve to die and rot in hell, in my personal opinion.
I agree.
But I always find true crimes fascinating because I love breaking this kind of shit down because it's interesting to me. So yeah, I would love to see what people say or think about John Wayne Gacy in the comments. Like, why do you think he did it? Same thing with all of them. I mean, it's always that weird fascination. Like, well, why? What drives another person to have just the balls to be like, I'm gonna kill other people? It doesn't make sense. Well, 16-year-olds.
Yeah,
You're going for vulnerable people.
That I don't get.
I don't get it either, dude. I really don't get it. So, questions, comments, concerns, thoughts?
Comments? He's sick.
Yeah.
Sick human being. I would almost put him up there with the toy box.
Yeah, very similar.
Just terrible, terrible person. So when you were talking, so he used to be a clown.
Yeah, he was.
Did he kill kids?
No. I mean, 16-year-olds can be qualified as kids. Yes.
Yeah.
But he didn't kill people in the clown suit, and he was like a children's party clown. He also dressed up for his Democratic parties, where they had events and stuff. He would come as Pogo or Patches the Clown.
It's almost like the clown was the normal person.
Yeah, 100%, which is even creepier to think about for sure. I mean,
yeah, it's almost like the clown would put on the human mask to go do terrible things.
Yeah,
it's really weird.
That's a great way to view it, actually, because it is very accurate. He didn't do anything in this, form or his quote-unquote alter ego. He 100% was just a normal children's clown. People loved him. I mean, people loved him. And it's the same with most serial killers we've talked about. People adore them. People think they're great pinnacles of, human society. I mean, that's the thing. The same thing with, him and BTK. He's part of politics. He's well known in his community. He helps his community. It's always weird when you find out it's like the neighbor. It's the guy who's never done a wrong thing to you, who's, mowed your lawn before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like the guy who's, watched your kids after school one time. And it's that's terrifying to me.
That's terrifying. Yes, absolutely.
It's very scary. It's the old, remember it, Hot Topic, these of the old, normal people scare me shirts, and then they brought it to American Horror Story, and it was it's that cringy of course, yeah, you weird, you think you're a cool alternative, the normal people scare me shirts. It's weird because it is kind of a cringy thing when you're wearing it, but you think it's normal people are fucking scary. This is a normal dude. Look how scary he was. Look how scary BTK was. Look how terrifying Ted Bundy was.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It almost makes you fear your neighbors, to be
honest. I'm afraid of my neighbors for other reasons.
Oh.
Yeah. Because the ones who live across the street are methed out all the time, and they're always making noise. They're scary. The ones next to me are awesome. I love them. Both the sets next to me are great friends. They hate them. They hate the methy people as well, and that's fantastic. All my neighbors are great except the methy people, but those people scare the crap out of me.
I want that on a shirt. The methy people scare me.
Shoot your local meth dealer. They have those shirts, by the way. I want one. Just shoot your local meth dealer. I was like, I will, dude.
Heck yeah, brother.
Heck yeah, brother.
Yeah, as far as John Wayne Gacy, it's just like that is a disturbing man. He didn't even give like the dead like
the sympathy of more than
like 6
a foot or two.
Like, yeah, that's
oh my god. It's the epitome of like the sheer fucking degradation.
Yeah.
I mean, you're riding people like they're horses with fake rings, burning them with cigars, and then burying them not even a foot into the ground. It's pure degradation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
wow.
Yeah, John Wayne Gacy. That's it. That there's a lot to go into, and I say it with all of them. There's a million things I can go into that I don't go into because I don't want to record an hour-and-a-half podcast on it. Because trust me, I could go for 2 hours on some of these guys. John Wayne Gacy, I could go for probably a good 2 or 3. Bundy, I could have gone for like a full 24 hours. There's so much. But that's True Crimes #1 for October.
All right, I'm excited for the next one.
Yeah, so we're not. I'll tell you what the next True Crimes is going to be, and then we're going to talk about the next video we're doing, which comes out. You guessed it, this week. Ooh, it comes out on Friday. So the next video we're going to be doing for True Crimes is Ed Gein, the Butcher of Plainfield, aka the inspiration for Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Oh. So get ready.
Okay.
Ed Gein's a creepy one. Ed Gein's creep. Ah. I already know the picture we're using for Ed Gein. It's not a flattering picture.
Okay.
Yeah, well, you'll see. But so the next video that comes out this Friday, guys, we're doing movie review.
Oh.
We promised you we would tell you what's coming next. This Friday, we're gonna be doing a movie review of Halloween and Halloween 2018, aka the greatest film ever made. At me in the comments. I'll come to your house and we'll, bare knuckle brawl in your front yard. 'Cause I'm right. I'll fight for it. So that's what's coming next. If you haven't seen Halloween, shut up. You're wrong. If you haven't seen Halloween 2018, big shut up. You're wrong.
I haven't seen either
shut
of
up.
those movies.
Did you not just hear me? Shut the fuck up. I'm just kidding.
Yes, sir.
It's a podcast. You have to talk.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. And I guess it's time for the old outro.
Oh, yeah.
Chill me. Yeah.
Hey.
Don't you dare leave this channel without liking it,
Commenting,
subscribing,
sharing,
caring,
clicking that bell icon so you get notified when we post a new video,
and follow us on Instagram, which you can do right now. If you're on a computer or your laptop, what you gonna do, dear bud? There's a little Instagram icon in the banner, and you click it, and it opens the Instagram website. Wham bam takes you to Instagram. I'm gonna say it every fucking time. Get over it. Or if you're on your phone or your tablet, you're gonna click description or learn more or info or bio. I don't know what version of the YouTube app you have, so I can't answer that question for you. You're gonna click one of those, and you're gonna see an Instagram icon, and you're gonna click it. Okay? It's going to take you to our Instagram, but it's going to be on your phone, so it's going to open your app, and all you got to do is click follow. It's so much easier. And guess what? We got some exciting news as well. I don't know if we have a link for it yet, because we haven't made a link for it yet, but we might have it in the next video. You just don't know. We now have a Twitter, guys. You can follow us on Twitter. We update you what's going on. We tell you fun things. We tell you, what we're doing with our lives. Same thing on Instagram. We just went kayaking. We got pictures of it. Go check it out. Go check out the freaking kayaking pictures. It's a good time. It's a great time. But to follow us on Twitter, what's the Twitter handle, Nick? Because I don't know it.
SheKTP.
It's at SheKTP on Twitter. Okay, that's SheKTP. I mean, it stands for She Killed the Podcast. That's like the whole organization.
The name was too long to put it in one.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so weird. Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys so much, and we will see you guys next time.